and welcome back to Fearless Business, where we are continuing our December reflections, posing to align our marketplace assignments with God's intention for where He has positioned us in the marketplace. Now, I hope that you took some time to reflect from last week's questions, and today we have a few others. Now, the question remains, what will be different about how you show up in 2026? 2025 is over. In July of 2025, we hosted one of Pastor M's mentors, Anthony Wahome AWG, like we like to call him, a bona fide billionaire with global business interests. Now, the conversations that we had were truly mind-blowing. My name is David O. Sijenyi, and together with my co-host Pastor M, we explored what it means to be about the business of the kingdom. We discussed faith as a business strategy, recognizing God in our life journey, and hearing God's voice at work. We also talked about spiritual legality and jurisdiction and the power of words in business. Here are some of the conversations that we had.
And we're going to look at the examples in the Bible where that has been evident and why it is the only way in this season to make for living.
So I can't just, as a Christian, I cannot not be a kingdom entrepreneur. That's what we're going to be talking about.
Exactly. There's no two way.
Wow.
We have muddled up and tried to double up, but remember, God will not back an illegality.
Yeah.
So if it is not of faith, then there's no justification. Faith in that connection is the key. And for us who are modeling this reality, and I'm going to give you examples of businesses I have tried the common way and God blocks them, is because He will not sanction an illegality.
Wow.
If it's not of faith, then it's not of God.
Okay. I love it. Now, this is just like a sneak, it's like sneak preview, eh? Because he's with us the next four weeks. We're actually going to be, we're privileged to have him for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, which is such an honor.
So I like that, a little cliffhanger of you better be there for the next 4 weeks because we're going to be learning some good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, but maybe before we jump into question, maybe you can just tell us a bit about your discovery. Because you have I remember from those days, you have a very interesting story of how you stumbled. It wasn't something you had seen yourself as.
So I am convicted that as we modeled, what we lack is people who can show us practically how this journey is walked, the things that need and pertain to this walk, and how you can successfully transcend. Back to your question, some of the mistakes I made. I got in and I was told that I can supply some drugs in veterinary. I'd never been to the veterinary space. And I jumped in. I had $1 million bob where my previous employees or colleagues were contributing to this guy who was stepping out. And I went and traveled to India, bought these drugs. They were perishable, came back, and the guy was nowhere to be seen.
Wow.
And my first experience is I entered debt headfirst.
Yeah.
It was $1 million bob down the drain.
That was a lot of money back then.
That was a lot of money. Removed everything out of the fridge to keep this perishable medicine inside. And they had expiry dates. So can you imagine, you stepped out, you seemingly heard God, and you find yourself in the midst of debt. But I realized, again in tracking, that you are allowed to enter some certain situations so that you can tell a story. And my authentication in teaching is the practicalness of life. Top consultants from India, I paid 3-4 million shillings, who came and told me that this business God had given me was too concentrated. There was too much concentration risk on one client. I then quickly forgot that God had said, this is how I'm blessing you in telecommunications. I was making 3 million shillings a day, and I went to construction where I was chasing 3 million shillings in 3 months.
Wow.
What was I trying to do? I was trying to bridge the risk that they told me about, but I quickly forgot that God gave me.
Gave you.
So the illegality is when you transcend to do things in your understanding. It says, lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways, acknowledge me. So my encouragement to you is don't run. Just sit and put it to God and until you have a hearing, and I want to break down for you what hearing is. Sometimes it could be audible hearing, but for sometimes it is just your state of heart where you have a witness to go or not to go. And it comes by training. And that training is just sitting and saying, I won't do anything until I have a release. Wow. Because remember, if you don't hear, those that are led of the Spirit are the sons of God. So if you don't hear, you can't navigate this life. And today in our walk of faith, the biggest challenge for people is, how do I hear God? And I want to simplify it for you. For some people, it could be an audible inclination, but generally, even in your quiet, your heart will be at peace over a matter or not be at peace over a matter. If you learn that training, you will be free. And then the second aspect of a kingdom is jurisdiction. And jurisdiction is understanding the sphere of operation that I am standing on, which is the operation of faith. Because without faith, you cannot please God.
Okay.
And if it is not of faith, it is of works. And if it is of works, you have reason to boast. But of faith, you cannot boast. That is Romans chapter 4.
Okay.
So I come here to God. One, I know that without faith, I cannot please Him.
God.
That's my jurisdiction. Let me give it practically. When you go to a court of law, there's no two things, and lawyers will attest to this. They only discuss two things. What is the legality of the matter? What is the legality? So somebody has taken from you. So what is the legality of that matter?
What does the law say?
What does the law say about it?
Okay.
And two, is this bench properly constituted
To listen to this matter.
which is the jurisdiction?
Wow.
So I come in faith, the constitution is right, so we are properly constituted. I know the basis of my request, which is the legality. And when you have those two in place, He who is both God and judge then grants you a hearing. Not that He hears you, He grants you a hearing, which means present your case. And I can say this confidently, you can get answers predictably by following the pattern. What was his message? The kingdom of God. And then he starts by saying that the kingdom of God is within you. That reality of the kingdom is within you. Then he says, I will give you the keys of the kingdom. When you understand how the kingdom operates, that understanding now translates to keys. For example, I can unlock financial play by my giving pattern. That becomes a key. There's also a key to health. There's a key to increase. There's a key to parenting. For example, and what is the engine behind all these keys is knowledge and understanding. So if you're raising up children, the first key to raising successful children is to understand they're not your own. It says that which you love, you lose. And that which you lose in this earth and in the world to come, you will be given manyfold, hundredfold of that. So the first thing is to lose. So when my kids were growing up and they were going to their schools locally and abroad, the first thing I did very early is that I gave them up. Gave them up meaning what? I cannot parent more than you parent. Everything is in the script. What is lacking is people who are taking time to understand the script and know what the future holds for them. Like the sons of Issachar, they had understanding of their time. Even an understanding of why we are in Kenya. This is the land of manifestation. This is where things start. Practically model. And the privilege we have is to model this new reality in the land of manifestation. Therefore, there is a grace here to showcase the world will learn from us. And this country is a first in many things. Mobile money, first in many things. So we're in the land, that's a context. And number two, God has a plan. So when he puts man on earth, he has an end that he has determined. Now that end, he says, is at that end, people will come in and ask, show us your God. So you are on earth, but you are not of the earth. You must remember that. You are on earth, but you are not of the earth. In other words, your operation base is here, but the how to operate is not dictated by here. It has to be dictated by what he is saying and what he shows you. With that in place, you can then superimpose. So what people are doing is that you are on earth and you want to do the earthly system, and then you come and bring God into this earthly system. And it can't operate. You can only operate as he shows you by instruction. To Abraham, he says, there's a famine and do 1, 2, 3. To Isaac, in the land he was, everybody was going to Egypt to look for food. But he says to his son, don't go to Egypt, stay here.
Right here.
That's how it's going to change. That is superimposition. The eyes see famine. The eyes see a hardship. And then God says, stay here. Then the next thing he tells him, sow in this place. And then he says to us, and Isaac sowed, and he got 100-fold. By the time Isaac was leaving, Abimelech were giving him gifts. Get out of our space, because you are just, you're too whatever. When the Israelites were leaving Egypt, the Bible says that they plundered Egypt. They plundered Egypt. They left with extreme wealth. But remember, to take that wealth where? In the wilderness, you didn't need gold, but there was a day that you have to build God a temple. That's when it was required. So,
I think one of the things you're challenging is, as Christians, many times we don't understand the power behind it.
very true.
And maybe you can just talk a bit about that, because you found yourself in certain rooms sometimes.
I've realized that the distinguishing thing is the wisdom of God. Because if it is things, where you're sitting, they also have things. You're sitting with Ishmael, you're probably very, very distant in terms of measure. So things cannot be the measure. But there are tables of influence, and you get there because of the gift of God over your life. He says, I will give you a mouth and a wisdom. And your naysayers will not be able to gainsay around it. They can't object that what you have is unique. And that's what really finds you at the table. And by practice, Daniel and his siblings found themselves at the king's table. Joseph, when they looked for a solution, they say he had an excellent spirit. So that is what distinguishes us, and that's what we are pushing for, and that's what this conversation is about.
My God.
Wow. We're talking today about practical steps. And I think for me, when I left this place the last time, even in the session, I keep telling Mr. Wahome, each moment he speaks, before he's finished that sentence, I'm ready for the altar call. I'm hearing how we easily continue with, because this was impact. This board has kind of gotten you to where you are. Having this board, well, not really the board. With what you've been sharing with us, is not really the board. But this was impact. You're making impact. And sometimes you're saying, but this is impact. God, what do you mean? This can't be God, because this is impact. But he's drawing you, he's saving you some drama, he's changing direction.
He knows the future. I am limited, I don't know the future. And that's a reliance we're encouraging you to get into. Just pause and just wait to hear. Don't move. David won successive battles. But did you know that in each battle, despite his previous win, he still came to God and says, do I go or do I go?
Inquired of the Lord.
What was that?
So you're regularly listening to God. And then number 3, create a conversation. So that you create that system where people ask each other those questions. Whether it's in our families, whether it's in our business, in our churches, what is God saying to you about this? Or what have you heard God say?
And you know what it does? As we task each other to be accountable to where they are coming from on a matter, very, very quickly, it becomes the way everybody thinks.
So now we're surrounded by kingdom mindsets.
Then we can move to another level of now doing things together. But if you're not of this, you can't qualify.
Wow. Wow, I'm listening to you, Mr. Wahome, and yes, you're putting the brakes on some things you want to move faster. and I like that, because I think you're setting us right. One of the things we know God has been challenging us about is just to begin to reset. And Pastor M has said over and over again, there is a shift that's coming up ahead, that we cannot continue to do things the same way we've done.
Yes.
What I'm hearing you say is, in this space,
Yeah.
you don't rush.
No.
In this space, you don't move in a hurry. In this space, you move at the speed of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And maybe just to add on to that, remember that the earth is where God designated. Now, I used to weigh 150 kilos. I was double my size.
Yeah, let's go there. Yeah, because
150.
150
That's a lot.
kilos. 150 kilos.
Like, I'm just trying to think. 150 is actually a
It's
lot.
2 times. I'm 75 now.
yeah, for those who are trying to judge me right now, I'm not yet at 150.
Why are you running and no one's chasing
No,
you?
it's important. It's important. There are some friends of mine I know who are watching right now. No, I'm not 150 yet, but yes.
I used to be 150.
What?
And I realized that this was not cutting it.
Yeah.
And I took time to understand, how do I dominate this space, because it was a difficult journey. But the moment I gathered knowledge around what to do, now I choose whether to add or to reduce. It's become a key.
Interesting.
For example, there are things, we've just had lunch, we had lunch together the other day.
Yes.
And there are things that I don't eat.
Yeah.
And I'm conscious that for me, this don't work out. Everybody has to find that for them. But to avoid the yo-yo of life, I had to make a conscious decision that this was going to be how I live. And I'm talking about lifestyle.
You're helping
This
my
is
brother.
how I will live. The second thing I incorporated was running. I run an average of 10K every single morning.
Every morning.
Irrespective of where I am in the world.
Wait, there's a conversation I need to have. You're still wondering whether you should run around your neighborhood. 10K every
10K,
morning.
7 to 10K.
So basically, it meant you have to restructure your life.
Restructure, but
Yeah,
everybody thought that it's too much.
yeah.
But I'm not living for you.
So this will be friends or family members?
Yes, in fact, some of them called me to cancel that. Don't you think you're throwing away money?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay? But I know what it is doing for me. And God will give you realities to confirm that what you're doing is the thing to do.
Yes.
I remember a story when you said how you are procuring the blessings of all those
my
people
parents.
you grew up with.
Exactly.
Because you are going into the neighborhood
Including my own
to see your parents.
I would visit Pastor M's parents
Yes.
and invite them to my house once every 3 years
Yeah.
for a meal. And I knew that the conviction for me was, if I have these 30, 80 and 90-year-olds, I've got 2,700 years at my disposal.
Wow.
And bless them. And even some of them who died, you know that,
Yes.
put me in their will. And some of them said that you
Wow.
will speak instead of their children. That is my real child.
It's a complete shift in perspective, just realizing I'm not my own. This is not about me.
Yes.
It's about the one who sent me.
And it says all things work together for good to those that love God. So if I see a seeming negativity in my life, the only thing I have to check is, am I in the love of God? As long as I can check and be sure I'm in the love of God, then it will work for my good.
Wow.
I am guaranteed it is working for my good.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteed it will not swallow me.
Yeah.
Because all things work together for good. But the criteria is what? To those that love God.
Yeah.
And where is the love of God? In the knowledge of God.
Wow. You know, as a speaker, I mean, first of all, I must say, I thank God that you're a man with evidence. Because it's very easy, but if a preacher came and preached all these things, you'll be like, guy,
Yeah.
these are just nice things you're saying.
Yeah.
But you've actually lived those things. There's a time I think you shared with me how in your initial days when you knew God and you knew about kingdom business, you sort of cycled the way of the world. And you actually were good at it because
Yes.
you had the blessing of God.
Yes.
But then God actually stopped you
Yes.
and said, this is a new direction. Maybe you could talk to us a bit about that.
All right. So
Now, I challenge you to please go back and rewatch those episodes with a notebook and a pen in hand. Now, my takeouts for you are as follows. Again, sign up for Faith-Driven Entrepreneur Foundation course. If you have not signed up, well, the flyer is right here on the screen, and we have our WhatsApp number in case you need any details from us. Establish spiritual rhythms around your work. Are you reading scripture? Are you praying? Are you applying biblical money principles? And this is principles of earning, principles of keeping, and principles of growing. And are you practicing generosity? Some books I'd challenge you to read are Kingdonomics by Pastor Muriithi Wanjau. You should have found that one by now. Straightforward Financial Growth by Moses Mukisa, and Financial Fitness by Pastor Muriithi Wanjau. Now, I know that you're in reflection mode and holiday mode, but as you're thinking, I'm sure you're also thinking about what next year will look like. These are some tools we're giving you. Take some time to go back and watch those episodes and draw out some learnings that you can apply. Together with these takeouts, this has been Fearless Business, where we challenge you to go forth and be fearless.